Alright folks, welcome back to another video right here on Jason's Wrestling Channel. Thought I'd do a little something fun today and take you back and talk about how the NWO was actually formed. Now the NWO was one of my all-time favorite teams in professional wrestling, and how they grew and how they kept adding more and more members, and the fans loved it. But then they had their downfall. So let's get into it. Scott Hall appeared on TV one night, and people thought Vince McMahon sent him there because he was wrestling under the name Razor Ramon. So he took the microphone and he said, "You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here." And he started making other comments like, that stupid security officer let me in the. This and that. So the next week came, and he appeared on TV again. And then Eric Bischoff came and interviewed him. And he said, "Next week I have a big surprise for you." So then it went off the air. The next week came. Kevin Nash came on WCW television. Kevin Nash goes, "So this is WCW, huh? This is where the big boys play. We ain't here to play." And he's like, "The measuring stick just changed around here, buddy, and you're looking at it." They took the microphone and gave it back to Bischoff. And Eric Bischoff got pile drive through a table. And then they were setting up this War Games team. And it was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash against Sting, Randy Savage, and Lex Luger. So then they sort of set up Lex Luger. They had a fake Sting in the limo. They had like a recording of Sting's voice. Lex Luger goes out to the parking lot and thought that Sting was in there, but they had a fake Sting right before War Games. And then he attacked Luger. And Lex Luger thought it was Sting, but it really wasn't. So then the pay-per-view came. And Scott Hall and Kevin Nash still had two guys. They didn't know who the third man was. Sting came and said, "That was not me in the car. I did not attack you." And Lex Luger looks at Sting and goes, "I don't believe you, I can't believe you, and I don't believe you." So when they went out there for the match, and then all of a sudden Hulk Hogan comes down the ramp dressed in red and yellow. They thought he was on Team WCW at the time. And he drops his leg drop on Randy Savage. And he turned his back on WCW. And then after that pay-per-view, the fans got so riled up, where they were taking stuff and throwing it in the ring. And they did not like him at all. They were mad. They were upset of the fact that he was turning heel. And because it was never done before. And then Hogan would come to the ring and people would yell, "Hogan sucks, Hogan sucks," But they were enjoying every minute of it, that. So then Hogan made a challenge to the Giant for the WCW title at Hog Wild. And the Giant accepted it. Hogan won the title at Hog Wild against the Giant with help from the NWO. And they're all walking back at the end. celebrating because Hogan had won the title. And it was a good time. And then it just got to a point to where the NWO will start adding more and more members to their faction. They added more and more people. At this point, the fans were kind of getting tired of it because they were on every single segment of Nitro. One day, Tony Schiavone, they were beating Raw in the ratings. And one day, Tony Schiavone made a comment saying there was a performer here by the name of Cactus Jack, known as Mick Foley, and they're going to win their world title because Raw was taped at the time. Nitro was live. So then people switched over to the USA Network just to see the title change. And the ratings for Nitro started to go down. And then all of a sudden, people start watching Raw on a weekly basis. And then they had the Monday Night War. They started D-Generation X with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And then they had the Outlaws coming to their team. And then there was a time when Rick Rude, now how they pulled this off, I have no idea, but this was actually WWE was taped, and Ravishing Rick Rude was under contract to the WWF. He was with DX. So he appeared on Nitro Live, and they also showed him on Raw with DX on the same night. Vince McMahon was pissed. He couldn't believe that Rick Rude had joined WCW. But he did. He couldn't wrestle, though, because his career was ended by Sting years ago. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like karaoke, subscribe to Flash Gordon Infinity Karaoke. Thank you for watching.